Hello there, and welcome back to my conversation with Deanna Shoss, which we're calling Letting Go of the Outcome. Deanna is a writer, marketer, and founder of Intercultural Talk, a marketing consulting firm in Chicago that specializes in digital, intercultural, and real-life marketing, serving entrepreneurs and small business. I'm Maria Tomás-Keegan, and this is part of my continuing series of conversations with brilliant, resilient women who have inspiring stories to tell and who are role models for the rest of us when it comes to learning to thrive. Hello, Deanna.
Hi, Maria.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us and for being so transparent and vulnerable and uplifting. This segment is about the lessons you learned and the wisdom you've acquired, and I'd love for you to share it with others. So are you ready to do that?
I am ready.
All right, share away, share some tips.
Sure. So I have a phrase that actually I made up, but it's my favorite saying, which says, resilience runs in my family. My mom died once, and even that didn't kill her. And that actually goes from my mom literally was in the hospital and literally died and was resuscitated. And that was in 1987. So beyond anything that could have been expected. So I love that legacy of resilience. I will say, though, that life teaches you resilience. So we started with the story of the infertility that my husband and I faced and realized that letting go of outcomes was so important at that moment to realize that there's not just one path that you can take. There are many paths, and they are what you make them. So letting go of a specific outcome that you can't control to open yourself up to other outcomes is really important.
That is so powerful. You're so right. When we let go and go with the flow, it opens us up, right, to the possibilities, especially when we approach it in a positive way like you do. So thank you for sharing that one. That's a very important message to deliver. What else, Deanna?
What I also realize is that the process of letting go, or the process of change is what I would call it. That's a really specific change that you have to make in your life, and that the process of change sometimes can feel done, but it's actually not. And what I will get at with that is, after going through the process of accepting that we weren't going to have a child and that we were open to other things, what I realized was that how much the idea of fertility and having a baby was tied to my idea of sensuality as a woman. And so even though mentally I had gone through this process of change and open to outcomes, what I realized is I wasn't feeling vibrant and sexy. And the idea of creative, sometimes people say when you create a child, it's that idea of creativity surging through your body. And so I thought that I was through the change, but I needed to go a little bit farther. I needed to go further to synthesize it, not just intellectually where I understand what's going on and I'm open to possibilities, but actually to synthesize it into my being as my new unconscious train of thought, that I can be a vibrant, sexy, beautiful woman, even without that idea of fertility, which has long been so tied to women's essence.
So you're talking about, I love that you said this, that you might think you're done, but you're often not, and there's more to be done. And a lot of that has to do with how you integrate it's like the new belief, right? Mm-hmm. And how you integrate that mindfully into your heart and soul, and you said into your being, so that you can step back out and show up the way you really want to be, which was vibrant and sexy, mm-hmm. and kind of that whole person again, right?
Yes. Yeah. And Maria, what I would say, the third lesson of all of that, of having realized that, because that was unconscious, what I when I realized like I still had more to go. I would say that resilience, though, is a practice. It's a practice that gets better the more you do it. And what I mean by that is you start with needing to be resilient because of life happening, realizing that, okay, I can start with what I physically do with my surroundings, but I need to go deeper to make sure that I've synthesized that change. But the final stage of it is when you get accustomed to being resilient, and when looking for opportunity and outcomes becomes a practice, that you start to see it everywhere. That you start to realize that why not? You know, it's that idea of, well, why not me? Why don't I do that? Why not take advantage of this opportunity? And what I find is in the past, where maybe I might have been quiet, although I don't know if I've ever actually been accused of being quiet, but you know, sometimes we're afraid to step up and say, well, I'll volunteer, I'll do it, because I don't know what the outcome will be. Once you're used to the practice of resilience and you know that there's multiple outcomes and multiple possibilities for you, why not try a bunch of things and see which one happens? And with that attitude, you can just try so many more things. I'll tell you what I think about sometimes. I don't remember this person's name, but I swear they're my hero. In college, in one of the dorm rooms, there was a young man who had decorated the wall of his dorm room with all of the rejection letters from jobs he had applied for. They were, back then, it was like pale yellows or teals or, you know, gray. So it was a really beautiful thing, but it pretty much covered his entire wall. And some people might look at that and say, oh man, nobody wants them. Look at all those rejections. I got to tell you, I have absolutely positively no doubt that that person is like flying high somewhere now, because the more that you put yourself out there and the more that you're able to pick up and move on when, you know, maybe when there is a disappointment, just the more is more. The more you'll get and the more opportunity that you'll continue to see and the universe will send to you.
I believe you are right on, right there. And it's hard to do. It's hard for a lot of people to put themselves out and not recoil from the rejection. I love what you said. Resilience is a practice. You're so right there too. When we practice being resilient and bouncing back from whatever the adversity, and it can be really tough stuff in life. But when we take a different attitude, right? When we switch up the way we think about something and we look at it not through the lens of rejection or being stopped or stuck, but through the lens of possibility, and it allows us to just open up and do exactly what you said. Why not? Why can't I do that? Why can't I take that risk, step outside my comfort zone and be fine, no matter the outcome? Because I know I can bounce back if it doesn't work, and then I can go try something else. I love that. That is a powerful tip.
Actually, it's so funny when you say things out loud, hearing yourself say it, sometimes you don't always even realize how much you feel it or what you have inside you until you're able to articulate that out loud. It's almost, I feel like an objective observer with everyone going like, yeah, that's really, I like it. I'm going to do that.
That's so, thank you so much for those tips, those nuggets of wisdom, as I like to call them. I know they're going to resonate with a lot of women out there, and a lot of women are going to go, oh, I can't do that. But I'm here to tell you, you can. You can. Deanna is the role model for that. And I'm sure that some women are going to want to reach out to you directly. So would you share us the best way for them to do that?
The best way, because you can get my email, my phone number, everything there, is to go to my website, which is interculturaltalk.com. Perfect.
That's great. And it's a very interesting website for those of you, when you go there, just explore it. There's a lot of great stuff there. So I want to thank you, Deanna, for being here with us. I am truly inspired by your resilience and your courage to let go, so that you are more open to receive more.
Thank you.
The abundance in this world is just amazing, and you've shared a great message with us. And I want to thank all of you for watching this episode with Deanna Shoss. This series of conversations is inspired by my latest book, Upside Down to Right Side Up, Turning Transition into Triumph. My book, the articles I write, and these conversations are intended to share stories from the heart and life strategies that can help others. I invite you to share them with the women you know who could benefit from hearing these kinds of stories, so that none of us ever feels like we are alone. Many of us have gone through similar experiences, and we're here to help. I believe it's our time to thrive. Would you join me on that ride? I'm Maria Tomás-Keegan. Till next time.